Good evening and bienvenue, my fond fair rouge raiders, and this is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to bring you yet another part of What If Deku Was a Brachydios. Now this will be the last prequel episode, the last setup episode, where we will be discussing, well, what exactly happened to Izuku's father. Oh yes, pardon me one moment. Now, where we last left off, Hisashi was saved, Mr. X was explained, and Mr. Lafleur, well, Mr. Lafleur was being Mr. Lafleur. Oh yes, the pieces are falling together. As we go to Hisashi, laying down in his bed, trying to relax, he knows something feels off about these people. He knows that it feels wrong, but they did help him, and he does want to at least see what's going on before he makes any assumptions. And so, he waits until nightfall. And that's when he begins to explore. Because, just like young Mr. Izuku, Mr. Hisashi is also quite curious. And he walks around. And he goes into, well, the laboratory, looking up the research papers, as well as on the computer, checking it out, examining it, and most importantly, examining the files on himself and a few others. That's when he discovers something very, very, very wrong. These files are about genetic mutations, alterations to genomes to allow for unnatural and highly destructive evolutions of anyone with a monster's gene. He goes, what the hell? Why would someone need this much power? The monsters were already strong as it is, but if the wrong people got their hands on it, it would be a disaster. Isn't that right, Mr. Midoriya? Huh? What the? Chuck? I thought... My apologies for the ruse, Mr. Midoriya. It's a lot easier for people of your origin to believe that a simple American can't properly speak the language, and it puts people at ease whenever they're in a different situation to have someone they can view as simple. So you lied to me. Yes, very much. At least about my name. But I am a big fan of yours, Mr. Midoriya. So I am the boss of this facility, yes. And Mr. Lefleur would not be happy upon you examining his files without his permission. Isn't that right, Mr. Lefleur? Oh, yes, that is very correct. Very, very correct indeed. You interrupted my beauty sleep to show me you being a very bad person. Very naughty, Mr. Midoriya. After all, I thought we were friends. Friends? Friends don't try and take advantage like this. You people, monsters, Mr. Midoriya. What? We're not people. We're monsters. Just as society has labeled us, we are monsters. I choose to embrace the term. And I thought you did too. What do you mean, embrace the term? Simple. Haven't you noticed? Of course you have. Everywhere we go, we're treated as second-rate citizens. No matter where we are, we're always looked down upon and spat upon for being too wild, dangerous, too thought-provoking. No matter what, we will never be them. We will never be what they want us to be. They want us extinct. That's wrong, and you know it. They don't want to... Yes, Mr. Midoriya, they do. Think about it. We live in lower class sections. We're not allowed in on certain jobs. We're not allowed to use our abilities. Outlawing quirks is what keeps people safe in some cases. Some people have really dangerous quirks that can't be controlled that simply. Oh? Like what? You mean beyond monsters? Yes! Think about it. Say a person with an electric quirk was trying to I don't know, charge their phone using their own electricity. But they don't know how to properly do so. Boom! Phone blows up. Phone blows up, scares a person. Next thing you know, say that person has a fire quirk or earth manipulation quirk. Next thing you know, we have a fireball or earthquake. Mr. Midoriya, you know that's nonsense. That is a very low likelihood. Yes, but in a city with millions and billions of people, the low likelihood increases to an extravagant amount. There needs to be some sort of bylaws in order to keep people safe. Oh, there is, Mr. Midoriya. And what's that? The law of nature. The strong survive. If you are not smart enough or strong enough to live, then you don't. That's not right. It isn't. By all means, I thought you would understand above anyone else, Mr. Devastation. That was a long time ago. Yes, it was. I remember it like it was yesterday, though. I saw you in action. You taking down... You striking any organization that you felt worthy of tasting your wrath. You ending so many different Yakuza. Oh, and let's not forget corrupt cops. Oh, and how can we ever stop and think about the governors? And even that one prime minister. You were quite the busy man, Mr. Midoriya. Not only did you face off against villains, but heroes as well. You shook the world with your ability to stand up for yourself, for all monster kind. And now you're going to throw that away? I'm not throwing anything away. I have a son. Yes. Yes, you do. And quite an amazing young boy he is. Isn't that right, Mr. Lafleur? Oh, most definitely. From what I can tell, he is a very special young man. A very special one indeed. What do you know? What do you think you're saying about my little Izu? Oh, nothing, nothing. Oh, I will tell him. We are saying that he is a perfect candidate for the eventual process of evolution. Evolution? Oh, most definitely. For you see, we plan to evolve all the monsters, or at least the ones that will side with us. And upon doing that, we will create an army that will rival that of the world in power and strength. And we shall, well, take our rightful place, wiping out the heroes and villains, allowing true dominance of nature to reign supreme. Nature. Yes. Survival of the fittest. If you can live, then you can survive. If you can survive, well, then that's good for you. But if you can't, well, kiss your ass goodbye. You are sick monsters. Well, we're not sick, but we are monsters. Same as you. I'm no monster. I keep myself in control. But you lot, I'll never let you harm my Izu. I'll never let you harm anyone again. I'll end you all. I'll end this now. Hybridize. As he lets loose, partially transforming into his human-like state, rushing at Mr. Lafleur and the person he knows as Chuck. Ready to slam into them until, well, Mr. Lafleur completely transforms into his Nergigante form and swats him away. Damn it, I won't stop here. Of course you won't. You never do stop, Mr. Devastation. After all, you wouldn't be devastating if you did yield. He charges again, this time accounting for the Nergigante's powerful strikes. As, well, Chuck ain't moving. He isn't moving at all. He's standing perfectly still watching this. As Mr. Lafleur gets ready to sideswipe him with his tail. However, That's exactly what Mr. Midoriya was planning on. Because as soon as he swings the tail end to hit him, he ducks, getting right underneath it, and slams his uppercut straight into the base of it, breaking it off with one powerful blast. You bastard. I'm going to kill you. As Mr. Lafleur extends out his wings and begins to use them in addition to his powerful arms to slam and move forward onto the ground. As Mr. Midoriya just backs away, further and further jumping back, until right when they think he's cornered, he jumps completely over him and charges straight at Chuck. He charges full powered straight into him. Mr. Lafleur can't get back in time. However, whenever he throws the punch, whenever he makes impact, thump, boom, the dust cloud appears. The room they're in is, well, damaged by the blast. But as the smoke settles, Mr. Midoriya looks at the man he knows as Chuck and just sees him smiling. He sees him smiling as his eyes begin to glow a very bright and powerful red hue. He sees him smiling as he snarls at him. You really shouldn't have done that, Mr. Midoriya. I was going to be nice, but now I don't think I will. As suddenly, Hisashi feels a cold chill of death run up his spine. His instincts turn on high alert as he begins to feel something he's never felt before. Fear. He tries to back away, but he can't, because as soon as he does, he's grabbed around the neck, and he is thrown through several walls, winding up in a large underground, well, arena, you could call it. As he finally is able to stand. What the hell was that? He sees Chuck walking in. What are you? I am the bringer of true destruction. I will destroy the world and rebuild it in my image. I am your greater. This is your last chance, Mr. Midoriya. Bow down before me, your king, and I'll spare you a worse punishment. Hisashi thinks. He is about to agree whenever he gets in his head Izuku, running through his mind, happy, carefree, laughing. He pictures him over and over again, talking about all those times he went to visit, about him being devastation, even making a mantra. Never back down, never give in, and we fight until the very end. Never back down, never give in, and fight until the very end. I won't work for you, Chuck. I suppose that's proper. I wouldn't expect anything less of your iron will, Mr. Midoriya. But the offer needed to be made nonetheless. However, if I may ask, would you prefer to fight me as a monster? For I am about to do the same. As Hisashi slams his arms into the ground, and he says, Monsterfication! As steam erupts off his body, and he reveals his true Brachydios form, towering over Chuck. Fine, let's do this. Mr. Midoriya, you don't know, do you? What? How? Fatal! A mistake you've just made. As Chuck begins to transform, black scales appearing all over his body, his red eyes glowing brighter as his entire body extends and morphs, elongating as the horns appear and the temperature rises. Finally seeing that he is a Fatalis. And now the situation is reversed. For now, Mr. Midoriya, Hisashi, is being towered over. What the hells? Make this interesting, Mr. Hisashi. Hisashi jumps left to right, trying to confuse his opponent, as it just watches. He darts off to the left, then using its full power jump to launch forward, and is about to slam his fist straight down on his head, whenever, wham! He's hit with the tail, sending him into the wall, crashing. As he's stunned and takes a few seconds to get back up, but upon doing so, he's met with a large fireball straight to the face. I know that won't hurt you severely, Mr. Midoriya. The Brachydios is very resistant to fire. However, it is still fun to watch you squirm. Come on now, chap. Show me what you can do. As he goes full on, not even caring anymore, rushing straight towards him. Devastating right. As he throws his punch, it's caught in that grasp. Is that it? Devastating combo. Boom! The left hits right dead center into the chest of the Fatalis, causing the explosion to let loose. As it just laughs and uses the elongated neck to grab at the body of Hisashi, collapsing down on that carapace, picking him up and throwing him like a rag doll across the room. As Hisashi gets up, he knows he's bleeding in several spots. He knows he's hurting, but he doesn't care. His adrenaline's firing full force, And if he can't walk away from this fight, he doesn't mind, 'cause he'll make his boy proud. As he lunges again, going even faster than before. As... I'm getting bored, Sasha! He launches off a large beam of energy straight towards him. However, hybridize. What? As Hisashi moves even faster than before, like a bullet, he lunges right past the beam, right underneath it, and gets up dead close, jumping as up high as he can. Monster-fication! Devastating combo! As he spirals upwards, boom! Slamming into the neck of the Fatalis, covering it in powerful explosive slime. And whenever it recoils, getting its windpipe punched in, the explosions let loose. Boom! Causing it to tumble backwards, stunning it for a brief moment. And that's all Hisashi needs, rearing up his horn and charging forward. Spear of Devastation! Ready to power through, ready to crush him, when, right as he's about to make contact, he's met with the fury of a powerful tail slap, knocking him into a wall. Boom! The explosive slime he was prepping from that on his horn scatters across the room, blowing apart. As he's getting up to try and get up again, he's met with another powerful slap straight on his head. Boom! Destroying his horn. He gets up again, trying to recover, trying to move forward, as he's met with a powerful claw strike, digging into his flesh and carapace, sending him flying across the other side of the room, tumbling and spilling over. Boom, ba-boom. Hisashi can feel his internal organs being flayed by those powerful blows. He can feel every pierce. He can feel every slash. But he doesn't give up. He tries to stand again. And upon doing so, upon getting back on his feet and beginning to walk forward yet again, he's met with a beam of fire straight on, causing him to have to close his eyes, searing any wound on his body shut, cauterizing the few open wounds, causing immense pain and agony. And upon him opening his eyes after it's over, he's met face to face with the Fatalis. You truly are a strong one, Hisashi. He tries to bring up his knuckle to slam into its face, to hit him at least one more time. But as he does, he's simply brushed aside with a head smash, knocking him onto his side and on the ground. Hisashi's breathing is heavy. His body is battered and broken, but he refuses to yield. Hybridize! As the puff of smoke and steam appears, he shoves himself upwards, trying to use it as a cover, but is only met with a solid smack from the tail, a large sweeping motion, as he slammed and ping-ponged across the room. His body screaming in pain and agony as he refuses to yield. You can still surrender, Mr. Hisashi. I don't mind adding you to my army. In fact, the doctor can patch you up, as good as new. Go to hell. I could never look my boy in the eyes again if I yielded like that. So I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna kick your ass. Very well, Mr. Hisashi. Show me what you can do. I'll allow you to attack me one more time. Show me that you are truly a hero worth my time. This one's for you, Izu. Never give up. As Hisashi begins to shove through the pain, as he transforms, beginning to power through whatever screaming internals are telling him to stop. He thinks in his head, I'll join you soon, my love. We made one hell of a son, and I'm sorry I won't be able there to raise him and watch over him like I promised. As he gets closer and closer, Monsterfication. Boom! Thoom, 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 thoom. As he gets even closer and closer, powering up that spear of his, that broken blade, that broken horn, as he's ready to make impact. Don't worry, Izu. I know you're in good hands. I know times are going to be tough, but I'll be watching over you. I am Devastation! As he slams into the Fatalis, dead center at its chest, releasing every bit of power and, well, explosives that it can. And it hurts. It hurts him greatly. For as he releases it and it explodes, his scales are actually sundered. His scales are actually sundered, shattered, and broken apart. As upon Hisashi backing away, he can actually see the Fatalis covering the wound on its chest. However, it just looks at him and smiles. That was very good, Mr. Hisashi. I'm very proud of you. However, your time ends here. As Hisashi prepares for death, as the powerful fangs of the Fatalis crush into its body once more. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't dodge. Every bit of strength and energy he had went into that charge. He's as good as dead in his own opinion. At least he went down fighting, just like his boy told him to. That's what he thinks, at least. For as he's bitten into, well, not bitten into, but his body is pierced by the fangs. of the Fatalis. Blood pooling onto the floor. The explosions going on within the mouth. Because the Brachydios does have slime all along its back and everything. The Fatalis lets him go and drops. And as he does, Hisashi reverts back to his human self and impacts the ground with a large, sickening, and wet thud. However, that's when Mr. Lafleur comes in. Most impressive, boss. But I think it's time you allow me to take it from here. Yes, I think it is. As he reverts back, changing and altering himself into a human shape. As Mr. Lafleur looks at the barely alive Hisashi, says, "Oh, no, 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 no. You shall not be getting off that easy." What? Did you think that I was going to be nice? Don't you worry. We have great plans for you. You shall be our devastation. But don't you worry. We patch you up first. We wouldn't want you to die on us now, would we? As he suddenly gets his face covered and gets some dose of highly powerful and potent gas flooded into his lungs. That's it. Shh. Rest, rest, rest. Let it all go away. As he's brought to Mr. Lafleur's lab, placed inside one of the chambers, where he begins his experiments yet again, forcibly evolving Mr. Hisashi into the warhead, altering and changing his form, making him permanently stuck in his monster-like state as it evolves and changes, implanting him with circuitry and cybernetics to keep him docile and only allows him to awaken on command. Oh, you were the best pet I could ever imagine, Mr. Midoriya. And don't you worry. We'll make your son a very powerful addition as well someday. After all, we wouldn't want to separate you from your boy, now would we? It's not as if you can understand me in there. As Mr. Lafleur walks away, a tear forms in the warhead Brachydios' eyes and falls to the ground as Hisashi begins to slumber. And now we pick back up with Izuku. As Izuku's getting over his rejection and, well, breakup. He goes back to school, and Everyone is asking, what happened? Are you okay? Is everything alright? And for the most part, he says, yes, I'm fine. Brushing it off. As Todoroki, or rather I should say, one moment please. As Shota asks him, are you really okay? Yeah, I'm just going through a lot. I'm mostly over it. Are you sure? Nope. That sucks, man. Yep. At least I can always count on you and Momo to be there. You can count on Ida too. We, uh, we broke up. Well, yes, y'all broke up, but I'm sure she'd still want to be your friend. Maybe, but I'm not gonna push it. Yeah. I'm just need to gather my senses. As he does so, he does what he can. He goes through the motions day by day. Until finally, one particular day, there's a knock at the Yaoyorozu residence from a certain blonde-haired girl. As Izuku goes, huh? Katsuki. Katsuki, what are you doing here? Figure you could use a pick-me-up. Pick me up. I'm fine. Ow! As she quickly, well, jabs him straight in the forehead. Ow! What was that for? Quit lying. I'm not. Ow! She does so again. Quit lying. I'm not. Yeah, she jabs his gut. Are you gonna admit that you need some help, or am I gonna have to hit lower? Okay, I'm lying, don't hit lower. Don't aim lower. For all our sakes, don't aim lower. Good. Now, you gonna let me in, or is this all gonna get cold? As he sees a couple of bags, and he says, alright, come on in. And so he does. And so she sets them on the table, and basically, so, where are your folks? Or, well, they're out at the moment. A ball was being, some sort of gathering or ball was being set up, and they invited me, but I chose to stick around here. See, I don't knew something's wrong with you. No, I just hate balls. Be like, do you really? No, okay. I'm not exactly good with the whole feeling thing. You know this. Or expressing my weakness, and you're really pushing it. I said, and okay. I'm just, I just don't feel good, okay? Ever since the whole training camp thing, and then all that happened, I lost control. This changed. As he looks at his hair and skin tone, and I feel like a freak. Then I get dumped. Well, you did kind of knock her into a wall, or rather a tree. I was out of control. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but you know, rage. She kept getting in the way. Izu. Yeah, I know, weak excuse, but I wasn't trying to do any of that. Relax, I know. You are a good guy. You just got a very explosive temper. I know the feeling quite well. Thanks, Katsumi. You've always been a good friend. Yep. And speaking of which, she pulls out a six-pack. Care to drink? Don't we need to be like 2 years older before we could start doing this? Maybe, but what I'm not gonna tell ain't gonna hurt. I won't tell anyone if you don't. Fair enough. As he sees her downing one of the beers and he that's a bit different than I expected. Yep, it can be bitter as hell your first go around, but with how fried your taste buds are, I'm pretty sure you can handle it. Hey, my taste buds aren't you eat alkaline metal. You eat alkaline metals that are coated in oil just to increase your explosive power. Yeah, no, your taste buds are fucked, brah. Like, fair point. As he keeps on drinking the drink as they just begin to reminisce and laugh and catch up, and one thing leads to another, dun da da, one thing leads to another, bum ba dum. As Izuku is a little bit, well, considering this is his first time touching alcohol, and additionally, he's in a somewhat vulnerable state after spilling his heart out. Katsumi basically tells him and gives him an ultimatum. What'd you say? Simple. You and me, we've been through a lot. And, to be honest, I've always kind of had a little thing for you. Uh-huh. Really? Yep. So, I'll tell you what. If you feel like it, you can be in a relationship with someone who will care about you and help you and treat you nice, as long as you do the same. Okay. Good. Now follow me. What? What do you mean follow you? Well, didn't I tell you? I'm going to treat you nice. What do you mean by that? Well, follow me and find out. Uh, okay. As Izuku, well, him never tasting beer before and him drinking the majority of it, kinda little susceptible to influence as he goes walking right behind her. And, yeah, they go straight to his room. And boy, are the maids and the butlers gonna be a gossiping. So anyway, my fond fair friends, this has been your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to tell you, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you feel like it, please, do tell me, whether you liked it or not. Tell me which was your favorite part, and tell me exactly how you feel about it. This has been Dio Rouge signing off.